is Joan Faught. She has been a member of MDAG Art Guild for eons, just like me, and she also is a painter, and she is going to kind of help us learn what we can do to turn mess-ups into masterpieces. Take it away, Joan.
Okay. I mean for this to be interactive, and part of the instructions for this meeting were that you were supposed to bring a painting that you were unhappy with, that you didn't like. You got it someplace halfway done, and oh God, where am I going from here? So far, I've been I can see I'm at 0 here. However,
I had one planned to bring, but if I choose was
yeah, everybody forgot or something. Yeah, okay. Well, guess what? You're still in trouble. Because it just so happens that I have a really big collection
John, we have
of paintings that I got about halfway done with, and they weren't any good.
Did you bring a painting?
Yeah.
No, I did.
Yeah, keep it packed for yourself. You brought one?
Yeah.
Okay, too good.
All right, we didn't bat 0.
Yes, we did. So,
Can I give it to anybody?
no, you can keep it for yourself.
No, thank you.
You all get a collection of my bad paintings. I brought enough. These are years old. I got into a certain place and it was like, well, this is certainly dead. And at that time, I didn't really kind of have any idea about where to go and what to do with it and all that sort of thing. So, I brought some for you. I have a big collection of these paintings. And it'll make sense in a little while. You know, what I've given to you, this is going to be yours to do something with. Whatever. I don't know if I'm good with you.
What are we going to do to it?
I've never known you to have a bad painting. Okay, here you go. You got one. There. You got one. You brought one. Okay.
You want us to take these home?
Yes, eventually.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. Give it to someone else.
I'm
Okay.
poor now, so I haven't done this in a while.
That's okay. It's all right. Just we're not doing anything. I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff.
What happened to Jude?
To who?
What?
Oh, where did Jude go?
She was heading out when I was coming in. I hope she goes.
Okay. Here's what I wanted. I don't know if it. Maybe you guys don't have. Did you not get a painting?
Oh, mine's up there.
Oh no. Those you need one of my bad ones.
Oh,
Hold on.
Oh, I didn't either.
I have an adequate supply. You guys can see all of my really bad stuff.
Aren't we
Faces
happy
the
that you're
wall
sharing
at my
one? Look at
house.
us.
At my house. Now these are years old, okay?
Oh,
I
that's
like to
neat.
think I've changed a little since then.
How about that?
Oh, here you go. There's Marilyn. Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. These got to a certain place and it was like, whoa. Have any of that ever happened to any of you all?
Oh, yes.
Oh no, never.
Yeah, I have
No.
a stack
I'm
of big
tired
ones.
of trying to fix this one.
Right, yeah, okay. So here's my outline for this program, but I should tell you that it's happened so much. I mean, I've done maybe 2 paintings in my life that I didn't go through some stage of it. There was a real struggle. Sometimes I got through it, most times I didn't. So that's why you have all this whole collection of really bad stuff. It happens so commonly, so often for so many artists that I really think it's normal. I really think it's a normal stage in the process of creation, okay? So here's my outline for what we're doing tonight.
You want me to do those right
That would be nice, thank you.
Kind of like when you
Oh.
get to that awkward teenage,
Yeah, exactly.
and
I
you
think of it
don't
as
know what to do
adolescence.
with your kids because they're impossible.
Mhm.
And how do you get them over that hump? Well, your painting gets there too, so.
Yeah, and from a psychological perspective, I think I understand. I used to be a therapist. I think I understand what's happening. But, you know, for a practical, everyday artist, you know, kind of level. And a lot of these quote tricks that I'm going to share with you, I learned from Carolyn Martin.
Okay.
And many of you know Carolyn, many of you do not. She taught here for many years, up until just this few weeks ago. Her health has, for those of you who know Carolyn Martin, her health has just fallen apart. She just really has, the bottom has fallen out. Talked to her, she was, the other day, she's doing a little bit better. but exhausted, and she should be. She has worked hard all along. So if you have a spare minute in your prayers, you might mention Carolyn Martin. Okay? Now then, on this outline, here's what I want to talk about. You get to this page, and we all seem to understand where we're at on this one, okay? Yeah, we seem to understand that, what's going on there. You'll notice I say at the top, creativity is an active, or any English teacher is going to tell you that the word creative is a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. Or creativity, I said, is a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. Thing, creativity. Sitting up here in the brain somewhere in a little lump, dead, because we're right here, and we don't know what the hell, we're in trouble, and we know what, we reach this stage, and the first thing we think about is we're going to fix it. So we do a little bit of this, add some green in, whatever, and everything. It didn't work. So we fix it some more. We think about it and fix it some more. The name of the game is to get to the place where you're going to have to let that painting and you work together to create a new destination for the painting. May remind you of what it was you originally visualized as painting was going to be, but may not. And either way, it's okay. Okay? So this is a way to get a different perspective on something. And the first thing you have to do, must do, is get off your own back. It doesn't matter how you got to that place where you're in trouble with your painting. It just doesn't matter what mistakes you made or what you did wrong or any of those. First place, most all of us know what we do wrong anyway. I have developed making mud to a fine art. I can make mud.
Haven't we all?
Yes. You have to let it go. The name of the game is to develop that new image. And to make that new image, you've got to take that old lump creativity that's up top in your head and turn it into an active verb. You got to wake it up and work with it to figure out where your new destination is for that painting. I sometimes think of it as the jumping off place. But you just must let go of why you got there and fixing mistakes, all that sort of thing. So there's kind of a number of things you can do, one of which is you stand back 4 to 6 feet. So everybody take your painting, and you may have to get somebody else to help you so and stand back 4 to 6 feet. Stand up, stand back 4 to 6 feet. Now the reason you stand back 4 to 6 feet is because that's the average distance that a viewer views a painting that's hanging in a show or on a wall. Okay? It was 4 to 6 feet. Well, now most all of us know to do that. We do it a lot while we're painting. But the thing is that, okay, everybody's back 4 to 6 feet. Okay. Okay. You feel like you looked at it? Okay. The thing that most of us, especially if we paint standing up, we stand back anyway, kind of just naturally, while we're painting. But the trick is that when you paint while you're sitting, I can't stand and paint for very long. My back starts screaming at me, so I have to sit. That takes some thought. Okay, I've got to remember to stand back and see where I'm at with this thing. 4 to 6 feet. Some teachers, I've had classes where they used one of these, and maybe every 20 minutes the darn thing would go off and you would know you had to stand up and stand back. Okay? So that's what that's all about. Did you see the quote from Chagall? And he's saying you got to get off your old thing, right on your thing here. Chagall says goal is to help us change that noun into an active verb. Chagall says, if I create from the heart, nearly everything works. If from the head, almost nothing. Okay? So we got to give up critical thinking about what I did wrong or what's wrong with this or how do I fix it. No, the question is where do I want to go with it? It might not bear any relationship at all to anything else. Second thing you can do, I've got a list here as you can see from your outline. And I want you to each come up here, look at it in the mirror, look at your painting in a mirror. Now at home, yes, this is interactive. Yeah.
I always do mirror and upside down.
God, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Go upside down.
This painting goes with my shoes.
Yes,
Look at there.
yes.
Now, as you know, you guys, these paintings are all oil.
I don't want to do it.
That's good to know.
That's good to know.
You can't fix it with acrylics.
No, absolutely can't, yeah.
I'm strictly watercolor.
Give me an idea where you could go with
You
it.
fix an acrylic with oil,
No,
but you can't
but
fix an
watercolor.
oil with
Not
acrylic.
yet, huh?
Run off.
Run right off.
Right off of that, that's why,
Yeah.
because I work more in watercolor than I do anything else.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
That's why I was.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
this is a mess.
That's good, actually. Where would you like to take it?
It's a lovely mess.
Well, thank you.
Okay, because now it's yours.
I,
It was mine, now it's
I
yours.
have
Take it where
several
you would
things
take
that I
it.
don't like about it.
You keep
The perspective on the piano.
There's nothing wrong with
There's nothing wrong with this.
His
one.
mouth being open right by the trombone.
So got some more poetry.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, it makes it, I need to sort of adjust this way or something.
From the touch, I don't know what's it up.
Well, right, what I need to do
leave me one.
is just figure out what's wrong with this and then redo the whole thing again. There's some things I like that I want to retain, is the looseness, the color palette. I'm trying to get that jazz feeling, so I'm trying to get some splattering in there too.
Hey, that's it. Joan's got that, Bill's got that feel.
Is this somebody, or is this somebody?
Yeah, no,
This is
that's me.
somebody. Okay, that's, yeah.
Okay. Now, everybody read this handout, and if you've already read it, go back up again and insert, so to say to yourself, not I'm very ugly, but my art is very ugly.
His face runs into that.
Or this painting is not pretty, or whatever.
That's what we were saying. Because
Let's read that.
this slide,
Move the horn.
yeah, I have to move
Yes.
the horn because
I see what you're saying.
it's part of this needs to be parallel to
You
that.
can't really move
So
him.
this is an artwork that needs to be fixed.
Right.
Doesn't need to be fixed, just needs to be taken off in the direction you
No,
want it to go.
but I need to,
If he doesn't
Okay,
do it,
ready?
then he has to think that he's got that horn's gotta go that way.
Attention, please.
Sorry, we're working on the paintings.
Okay. Now then, using this painting and saying words too, like, my painting is very ugly, read it from the bottom up and do the same thing.
Wow.
That was really cool.
Huh. Okay, I really like this.
I like that direction, it's better.
Yeah.
I was about ready to cry.
Ah, that's super cool.
I do a lot of writing in this.
Now, it seems to me like you all are doing the thing that I hoped you would do, is you're noticing how different it feels based upon what you're saying to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the point to make with each of the paintings. You don't care what's wrong with it, you want to decide where you want to go with it so that it is something that you want. Doesn't make any difference what you did wrong, over and over. It doesn't matter what you did wrong. And it does matter what you say to yourself. If you say, boy, I'm bad, this is proof I'm bad, well, that creativity bug thing is gonna stay up on top of your head, not do anything. But if you read this from the bottom up and say things like that to your head, that little creativity now is gonna wake up and help you out. And that's what we're trying to get accomplished. Wake up and help you out, okay? So now, after having read this from top to bottom and bottom to up, turn your paintings upside down. Carolyn Martin used to come around and when we'd be working, she'd be looking at our works from top down. And And I finally figured out, that's how she does this, she looks at it from the top down all the time. So, where do you wanna go? Okay? Okay, everybody ready? Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to frame it. Now, sometimes in a painting, you'll find a spot that you really do like, you know. And this is the one that probably works best with watercolor people, is that you can check it out. And paintings always look different in a frame or a mat or whatever, you know, we all know that. Okay. So, you can take a mat, and I cut it the corners like this, each corner, a couple of clothespins. Then you can start going like this and looking at your painting. Okay? It may be that you're gonna light on a section that's gonna really speak to you. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna pass these around. And I'll make them go as far as I can go here. And you may keep these also if it lands at your table when you want one. You can buy those little things, they're kind of expensive, that you can look at paintings to and adjust the size. But number one, they're expensive. And so, just take one. You already do a sort of something like that. Esteem that. Okay.
Using old
Jen and I will share one.
Okay.
slide, little slide holder.
Yeah, we'll
That's
share.
what I
Isn't
use.
that one share? Maybe that's a spacer.
Yeah, guys are gonna have, some of y'all are gonna have to share, okay?
Actually, they're not sequins, they just sure look like it.
Anybody need?
They gotta do what the people tell them.
Yeah, man, I'm kinda old for that. That's much better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You like it? Okay.
I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, all this sky ought to be interesting since it's the biggest part of the painting.
That's an idea.
So that's you telling yourself what's wrong with it. What we're hunting for is where do you wanna go with it.
Wow.
Eureka, we did it.
Yep, we win.
Okay.
We got A for effort.
All right.
E for
Okay.
effort.
Okay, now this is 2 instructions on this one. We're going over to page, the second page here. Makes a lot of difference, doesn't it, that framing technique?
It's a big one.
Into the hall.
Into the hall.
Okay, if I've been that bad,
That way. Sorry.
Okay,
actor in me creeps out.
okay, here we go. Now then, I want you to take your paintings and look at in the hall.
In the hall.
In the hallway, because the light in here is very garish and bright and all that sort of thing. And there won't be any way that any of your paintings, when they're done, are gonna hang in light, not much chance that they're gonna hang in lighting like this. The light out in the hallway is much more likely in terms of intensity to be more like a home light. Now, when you're painting at home like I do, I paint in a windowless room. So periodically I take my paintings out to my living room because I have a combination of artificial and natural light. In my windowless art room, I only have artificial light. And it's cast light and I stand in my own shadow and all that sort of thing. So what you need to do is take your painting out in the hallway, look at it out there and see the change. It's really a surprise, nice surprise. Come back in and get a cookie and some treats. It has a lot of earth tones, especially reds and oranges. That old red cellophane trick isn't as good as you would like it to be. How many got a smartphone with a camera on it? Yeah. Take a picture of your picture. And then when you get ready to do what you're gonna do, in here it'd be fine. Take a picture of your picture. Then when you wanna look at it, you can edit. You can always edit these pictures in your smartphone and edit them to print out in grays and blacks and whites. There's your values. And I've got it on my phone, and I'm gonna bring it around just so that, you can see, okay? Okay, so here we go. This is this one in color. Now this is a night scene, so this isn't gonna be a real dramatic change, okay? That's a night scene. There it is in grays and blacks. Okay? All right. Same thing.
Can you do
Like I
that
said,
too?
this is night scene.
With
This is
your
the old
phone?
Cliff buildings.
You know how to do it with your phone?
I'm not sure.
There.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, all the phones are gonna be different,
It depends on the app you have.
Yeah. So you here, see, this is the one with the color, and it's a night scene, so you're not gonna have a lot of drama. And there it is in black and red. See? Okay. You figure out how to do that? It's interesting, isn't it?
Trying to do it in black and white.
Yeah, now on mine, you go to edit. Okay, there you go. Oh,
That didn't do anything sharp.
this is the tank, blue tone, you can't see it real well, it's a night scene, so it doesn't have a lot of, drama. But there it is in black and red. See, so that helps
I
a
had
lot
one that
in
did black
a
and
lot of
white,
ways.
and I'm not finding that.
Here you go.
Here you go.
Filters, maybe.
That's the,
Yep.
there it is in black and red and white.
Ooh, that's even clearer.
Yeah, I like this, this is one of my favorites, I sold it. And that helps. Okay, here you go.
Did you get it to do it, June? Joan? June might need help.
I'm over there, okay.
How do you,
I don't know, I'm not that technologically smart. Okay, well, I don't know, cause mine is different. Cause see, mine will say edit.
it is, oh, edit?
Mhm. Down below, now I have a totally different program, I'm sure. You can play with it for a while. Okay, here's one I'm
Mine
gonna show
kept
you.
telling me today that
Here's it is in color.
I used
Okay,
it.
now this is a
my,
night scene, so you don't have a whole lot of
that-
contrast. But there it is in black and red and white.
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
It's values,
So I
yeah.
had to wait until my son got off from work, so I got back to work, so he was driving home and he said, Mother, you've asked me this.
Okay, there you go.
He said,
Yeah,
"You
there you
said
got,
that
that has almost no values at all.
Names.
In filters.
I've got Playa,
Is it
filters
Honey.
are quick.
Isla, Desert, Clay, Palma, Blush, Alpaca.
I would think.
Where do they come up with these?
Gray.
Ollie,
Yeah, gray.
weird names.
Okay, here's this one in color, now this is a night scene. so it's not
Filters is
long.
where I found the black and white.
When you
And
open
there
your
it is in
photo,
the black and white.
like right now,
See, and that
then
could
you
really
can
show
get a little thing that says like,
This does not.
Yeah.
okay.
This is Now, this is a night scene, there's not a lot of that.
Yeah, I saw it, and when you turned it to black and white, I thought it really had a lot better than that. It's kind of showed that.
I bought my phone specifically for a camera.
Okay, so if you start with that,
Wow.
and then,
Good for you.
now how do I get to the next one? I have to be using the.
You need,
It's not letting me just switch. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, start there.
yes.
And then make that black and white. All right, then I went back and increased the contrast.
Yeah,
And it gets a lot
and then
more.
black and white's even better, yeah.
Yeah.
So that tells you the paint needs
Paint
more
needs more
contrast.
contrast, yeah.
No, those aren't right.
Or you would like it,
Yeah.
But see here, when I open it,
I want to try them.
I can tan,
They got it,
or
exactly.
I can get warm colors, cool colors. But there's
You figure
another,
yours out.
there's another
Yeah.
that you can download from the phone.
Yeah, I was telling Cindy, I bought this
That,
phone specifically for the camera.
I had it on mine and I took it off, so I could put my hard monitor thing on there. Cause it took up too much space.
My first husband.
Through the mist.
Then I'm gonna marry Mr. Amazon. And Google knows everything, Amazon, you can buy everything. So we're set.
Okay,
If they don't come home with you, you don't have to call.
I think it's called Pixlr.
Do it, Izzy, that's not See, I know. That's
we ready for the next part?
Yes,
Everybody?
yep.
Last one, sort of. This is, I'm gonna pass this around. Sometimes when you get to kind of the end of your rope, I can paint over in white, or sometimes maybe in earth white, a painting. Thin, see, thin. I can still see what's underneath, but I've made like a white mist over it, okay? There's a Bible verse that starts something like, we see through the mist partly, and so forth and so forth. Now we've made a fog and a mist. We can see what's gonna float up out of it. Okay, I'm gonna pass this around, but it's wet, so I'll start with you. Hold it from the bottom, it's wet. But what we're trying to do there is create that fog that forces that creativity verb to activate and imagine what's coming out of that fog.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
Number 10, through the mist.
She might look better than.
Yeah, just watch out, remember it's wet. Yeah. It's wet.
Is that gesso you painted it for today? Is it all gesso or wash?
No, it's oil, it's white oil paint, because that's an oil painting. You can do, yeah, you can use gesso if you're doing acrylic or whatever, yeah.
Joan, how long have you been painting?
I did my first portrait when I was 7. It was
What?
a picture of my mother, and people agreed it looked like my mother.
Aw.
And she didn't like it.
My mother hated the painting I did of her too, so.
I know.
And off and on all my life. It's really the only thing I ever wanted to be. Not that I made it. I got to college, majored in art, and bombed.
Not do anything.
Just
Let your
bond.
imagination.
So spent the rest of my life saying, well, guess I'm not an artist. And
that looks
ended up
good
in
to
social
me.
work.
You're an artist.
Since I retired,
We
this is
decided
it.
it's
I
good that
knew
way
when I
she can
retired I
put a
was going to go
frame
back
on
to
it and it'd be
what
just
was my
like
first
this.
real love, which I've done. And,
I like what's underneath.
but I wouldn't change it because I feel good about what I did as a social worker. And now, if I had been an artist, say a commercial artist, all those years in between, I'd be a burned out artist now. And it wouldn't be adding the richness to my life that it does. But that was a hard time for me, giving up on my art. But it was, I started college in 1958, that kind of gives away my age. And in that particular era, Jackson Pollock was everything. Sometimes he was sober. And I despise Jackson Pollock to this day. I've seen some of his work, has lots and lots of motion in it, but it just doesn't say anything to me. But when I went to college, I went to Phillips University. Any of you all ever hear of Phillips University? Enid, Oklahoma. Church school. It was okay. But the art classes I ran into were, if you did anything that had a recognizable object in it, it was no good. I took my work home, and it didn't look exactly like a photograph, it was no good. And at 18, you don't have the ego strength to survive that, you're no good anywhere, you know. So, that's how I ended up. Now I've taken classes. I had that whole first year as an art major, and I've taken a lot of classes all along. It never was totally out of my life, but I've taken all kinds of classes. Been painted here with Carolyn for the last 15 years.
Wow.
So that's my history as an
I
artist.
can relate to that. They always, the insult going around in the 70s was, well, you're a good draftsman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us had been through that, you know? And I think part of the problem is that and art may still be doing it, art is still flailing around with what do we do now that we have photography.
And computers.
And computer, oh yeah, I mean,
Oh.
yeah. How many of you all listened to OETA, Rick Steves?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Oh, not yesterday.
He's doing a whole European world tour on art. Art in different cultures, all that sort of thing. And he said something yesterday that just hit me like a brick. What he said was he was looking at some primitive Iron Age work, and it was a cup you drink out of. But it had a little decoration around the outside of the edge, and he says that is the beginning of creativity in art, because you made something more beautiful than it needs to be to get the job done. And that, I thought, boy, is he on target. That's it. So whether you know the object or not, if it's more beautiful than it needs to be to get the job done, then that's the beginning of art. And I can live with that definition really, really easy. Okay. How many of you in this process looked at something and said, oh, I know what I'd do with that, I'd take it and blah, 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 blah. Sooner or later, you did. I know Nan did. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, part of the reason that you did this, and this is back the point I'm making all along, is that you didn't have to worry about what you did wrong, because it wasn't your painting.
Right.
You didn't have to get critical of yourself. And that freed you up to go forward. Okay? And that's the big thing point that I want to make out of all of this. As long as you're sitting here looking at that painting, saying to yourself, what's wrong with it? What did I do? That creativity is going to stay in now. When you get off that track of thinking, your creativity is going to turn into an active verb. Okay? The end.